Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar index on the daily time frame, and we've gone back in time to 2018 at the not the last cycle high, the cycle high before that. So where are we currently? Not looking at the picture. Where is Bitcoin right now? Bitcoin is just broke its previous all-time high, and we are like a week out from an election. So let's look back in time and see what Bitcoin has done in those instances. Previous all-time high here 2 cycles ago, 19,806, or somewhere around there, 19,800. So let's go. What happened when we broke that the next cycle around? 19,008. Well, we almost broke it here. We got within a couple hundred points of it. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. And then what happened? We had a big dump down. Or a little dump. How much of a dump is that? Let's see. From there to there. That is a 17.5% dump to the downside. That's a pretty big dump. Then we came back up and busted through just barely. And then what did we do? Came back down again over the course of the next week and a half. Now, this is actually several weeks after the election in 2020. So it's a little bit different. So these things I'm showing you aren't exactly the same. So we got to do some guesswork. What happened around the election time? I assume the election's the first Tuesday, right? So it'd be right here, Tuesday the 3rd of November. Well, we're over here. We're the week before. So Tuesday we pumped, Wednesday we dumped, and then we continued to rally a little bit upwards. Now, how much is this? And we did have kind of a big move prior, but it's not exactly the same. How much of a move is that? Oh, it's a 10% move. But that was the Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays before. Huh. A pretty big move. And then we had a big move up Tuesday. These are big moves we're making back then. They look like little tiny baby moves, but that's a 5-6% move, including the wick, finishing at a 5%. I don't even know what kind of move we just made. I'll have to measure it. I don't think it was that big though. And then the next day, Wednesday, we dumped back down. And then rallied back up. So pretty volatile heading into the election. But the election was 2 days earlier, date-wise. So I imagine, well, I'm not sure what kind of financial data came out that week. But anyway, so I'm not going to get real in depth here because I don't want to go look up all this historical crap Just kind of getting an idea of things here. But what else did we have going on? Oh, 2020. So we were getting a lot of people say we got pumped with a whole bunch of stimulus. Did all the Americans really spend their few $100s on crypto? And all that's what really moved the market. I whatever. I don't think so. I don't know. People talk about the lamest things. But whatever floats your boat, people. I guess, yeah, it can be argued, well, the money, just more money went into the system, so there's... No, you know what happened, really? Is people were sitting around and they were freaking bored. They didn't have anything better to do, so they just traded crypto. That's what happened. But not me. Like, I continued to work. My gym stayed open. The Y moved all their equipment outside. I had 2 different gyms I went to. We could, yeah, we could still swim in the pool because it was outside. You could still use the equipment outdoors. And then the other gym that I go to, they sued the state. They said, "F you, we're not closing." We just, as long as the lawsuit was open, we could still go to the gym. And we all wore masks and wiped everything down and whatever, and nobody could say anything. But and then I continued to work too. So life went on, and I continued to run and what have you. Although it was really, really strange, they did close the trails down at various points. Like, yeah, we have to be afraid about breathing on each other outdoors. Anyway, so I digress. Is this the previous one or not? I don't think so. Oh no, okay, here. We got to go back more. So what was the high before that? Around 1250. So if we come over here, and then where did we hit 1250? Not quite there. Again, about 100 points away from that high. And then we dumped down big time. You know, what time of the year was this? Well, now, this is January, the first week of January. So we did see a pump, a Santa rally. Okay, everybody talks about a Santa rally and they don't exist. This is the one time here that you'll see a Santa rally. And we did rally here. 45% the last, just about the last 10 days of December. 45% in 2016. I was not there. Must have been nice or scary or what? Because then we dump right back down even lower than where we were before. We were at beginning that rally 796, then dumped back down to 750. So yeah, that's a huge dump there. I didn't even measure it. I measured the up part, but the down part is even more. That's just how it works. Or is it the up part that's more? I don't know. Yeah, it's the up part that's more. That's right. So you go down 30%, but you got to go up 45% to make that 30%, something like that. So that's what happened when we almost broke our all-time high that year. And arguably, it's the first week of January, so everybody was selling off, so they didn't have to pay the capital gains till that year. Not this year, but this year. Taking profits. but then rallied back up. And when did we break 1250? Oh, right up here. We actually did break 1250 right up here. And then what happened immediately afterwards? We dumped back down, wicking all the way down here, and then it was all bought up. And we continued on and dumped back down. Now this is in, now arguably again, this is in March. It's another profit taking time. But so this is interesting because then we continued to rally in April and May when you're supposed to walk away or do whatever you do, and had a nice summer long rally. We dumped here in July, kind of like this year. Dumped again, I'm guessing, in September. I was going to say August. Well, started in August. Nope, started in September. Did get a little August dump. Often get an August dump. Right there, September dump, and then continued onwards and upwards. Wow. So that was an interesting one, but here we are after breaking the previous all-time high, big dump. And let's measure that. Now, yeah, 26%. I don't expect that big of a dump. So, okay, 2 times when we reached our all-time high, we dumped big time. I think it was 15% was the first one and 26% was this one here. So I don't want to go back further because Bitcoin was like hardly anything. It was hardly worth anything, just like a few dollars. Now, okay, so what year are we in? We're in 2017. So let's go back to the 2016 election. That would be right around here. A little bit before we reached our all-time high. I think it was November 1st. Yep. So that was election day. We did rally. So we were in different places in the cycle because the halving isn't exactly 4 years. And the halving, I'm sure, had much greater of an influence back here than it does now. November 1st. So this would be the week before the election. Here we rallied into the election when Trump and Hillary were battling it out. Here we rallied into the election. So there we rallied into the election. What did we do on the other one? 2020. We rallied into the election as well. But, so we rallied into the election both times, but we did have volatility too. We went really up on this day and really down the next day, the week before the election. But, you know, it's hard to say because you also had the same economic data coming out both those times and this time, and I'm sure they varied widely. And so what I'm considering more is what happened when we reached our all-time high here and in the prior cycle. We did see a pullback, big pullback, both times. Now, as far as the numbers that are going to be coming out go, so what I'm doing here is I'm making a case for us to see a pullback? Because I'm wondering, are we about to explode right now? Should we go all in right now? Should everybody just throw everything in right now? Or is there going to be like a 10, 15, possibly 20% pullback? That would wipe you out if you're going long, if you're using leverage. You know, and we've seen this time and time again over the past 7 months, where we seems like we're going to break out, and then the shorts just come and fucking pile on and dump us down, time and time again. I mean, I've been following. Look at all these freaking lines I've drawn. I've been following it where we hold this as support, we hold that as support, we hold each line as support on 4-hour time frames, and sometimes even on upper, like on daily time frames, we'll hold stuff and then we just lose it. So it's happened over and over again. Is it done? Are we done? I have noticed the past whatever amount of time, the past couple of weeks, really, not that long, that the shorts are losing their strength, and more of them are. It's more. It used to be favor the longs. The longs, I mean, not favor, but the longs would be liquidated constantly, over and over and over again, far more than the shorts. But now the shorts are losing their strength, and possibly some of them are flipping, or are they gonna have one more go at it before, one more dump where they pile all on just to get it out of their system before they flip to bulls? I don't know. What I do know is pretty comfortable where I'm at, and I'm trying to stay conservative. I don't want to be that guy that just got wiped out, and because he was trying to be too gritty, trying to make, whatever amount of money, let's say 5 million instead of 2 million, or whatever, or 500,000 instead of 100,000, whatever, doesn't matter. So that's that. While we're here, you can see the fractal that I copied from a previous October, a year ago, and I've seen others copy the same thing because it's freaking very similar. And but it's funny. Look at how it perfectly follows these lines here. It's almost like it was meant to go there. You know why that is? Because it's the same freaking channel. The same freaking channel from last year. Follow this blue channel, all the way back here. All the way back here. And it wasn't right here, but it was in the upper part of the channel right here. So this is that same fractal. We're following the same channels. We're just up here more. We're just up here more. And one step higher. So that's that. Anyway, then here too we have the DXY. It's been going up and up and up, up and up and up and up, and somehow Bitcoin rallied while it was going up and up and up, but is stalling a little bit here, and it looks to me, I haven't really been following it much, but you could draw a trend line here. Well, let's just draw one, I guess. Looks like when it hits that, it'll probably pull back. Yeah, well, that might not even be till later in November. But when it does hit, probably see a nice huge rally in Bitcoin because it'll probably come all the way back down to here. Looks like a descending triangle or something like that forming here. Let's go to a weekly. I haven't really haven't looked at this in a long time. Sure, it's taken a sweet ass time to dump down. I remember I was charting it a long time ago, and let's go on a longer. You can see what it's done over the course of many years. I mean, it goes up and it goes down, it goes up and it goes down, and it goes up, and it's supposed to go back down, but it's not cooperating like it has in the past. But it will, eventually. Okay, so we got that too. We got that going on. It's still going up. Looks like it's about to go down, but not at the moment. Maybe in a couple weeks. And then, of course, you have the CME futures. We don't want it to be on a 4-week time frame. We want it to be like on a well, let's just do an hourly time frame so we can see more clearly this gap here from Friday to Monday. We left over the weekend. It's almost $1,000 gap right there, and that is we got to come down to about 67.5 on CME futures. It's trading at $800 premium to spot, so 66 7ish, around there to fill that. Now, do we have to fill it? No. But usually we do. Usually we do fill these. All the time? No, we don't. Not all the time. But usually we do. And where would we have to come down to? We'd have to come down to this purple line somewhere. This purple line right here. Now, what else is in that region? These dotted lines are in that region. What is that? 66.5. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, I think. Phew. This purple dotted line right here is the bottom of the 4-hour Gaussian channel. This orange dotted line is the top of the 5-day Gaussian channel. And the green one, I believe, is the top. No, it can't be. Oh, it's the top of the daily Gaussian channel. The bottom of the daily Gaussian channel is down here, as is the top of the weekly Gaussian channel, down around 59. These other ones are up here around 66. And the top of the 4-hour, which we're going to have to fall into if we want to close this gap. And where would we fall? We fall through the 4-hour almost to the bottom, about to the bottom of it, and then probably pump right back up. Just be a quick little visit there, but the 4 hours is not as important as the daily, and certainly not as important as the 5-day and the weekly Gaussian channels. Now, let me go to a different chart that you can actually see, but it's getting worse and worse. And I've kind of laid this out already. Let's go to maybe a 4-hour or a daily. Let's just go to a daily. Now, if you remember, I tried to guesstimate way back here in the beginning of October where we were headed. And I made several paths for us to follow. And I said, I think most likely we're going to do this green one here. And you know what? Let me turn off some stuff. All right, well, I turned off some stuff, but I'm going to have to turn it back on because it's going to show what I'm looking at. You know what? I can delete some of these. So I laid out the green one, the red one, or the blue one. The green one was what I thought would happen. And we're pretty much following it to a T. We got this little swoosh right here in the middle of it. But other than that, we've come down. Now, remember, we didn't come down as far as I thought because I had an order down here that did not get filled. And I'm still really pissed about that. I was like, I don't know, a few $100 away. No. I think I had my order like at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we only came down to 58.8. Yeah, so I was a couple $1,000s away. I thought we would touch here, and we didn't. We only came to here. So then we'd come up here, retesting our all-time high from March, and get rejected, and come back down here, heading into the FOMC meeting and the election, and all our economic data that we're getting this week. And then blast off to the moon from there. I still think that's what's going to happen. As an alternative, the super bullish case would that we would shoot past our all-time high up to about almost 80,000 maybe, and then see a pullback into the election. Still, these would all lead to around 66 to 69K coming back down into or around the FOMC meeting, which this lavender vertical line represents. And the bearish case was that we would get rejected off of this purple line, which is it's whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It's an inverse head and shoulders that others were calling out that I did not believe was an inverse head and shoulders. My inverse head and shoulders line is the aqua colored line here, and which we did finally break here and have blasted off from that. Now that target is the target from this is 85K, and I do believe that we will get up to there in mid-November, something like that. And then I also postulated, because once I saw us coming, no, it was before that. I thought quite possibly that we might get a... No. Okay, I was, never mind. I wasn't done. I forgot what I thought. Because it was so long ago. I can barely remember what happened yesterday. Red is the bearish case scenario. Get rejected off the purple line, come back down to here, and which is the top of the weekly. That's the top of the weekly Gaussian channel. We want to stay away from that. And then come back up, same around 66, 69K at the FOMC meeting. They all get us back to the same spot with different routes. And then I thought maybe possibly we could see a hybrid between the red and green, and do something like that, and then up here. But what seems to be happening is the green one. And here we are. And I still think we're going to see this rejection. So now I'm going to turn on those other things. I can just do it while you're here, right? Turn those guys back on. I don't have to have them all lit up. So, oh, you know what? Everything is askew because I'm on a daily. I have to switch to an hourly and everything will be straightened out again. There we go. Or maybe even a 4-hour. It'll still stay straightened out. It's a little bit off. Those two red channels are supposed to be parallel. Let me see if I can switch to a 2-hour. Because I didn't anchor them at the proper locations to make everything stay parallel to one another. So you can see how we did follow in this channel here. And we did form an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which would take us back up into this channel here. And, but that never came to fruition. We fell out of it. We started up in it and then fell out of it. So this is on a smaller term time frame, but look at where we ended up back. We ended up back in that channel. And we got rejected off of the center line right here. And then we have fallen out. We just wicked up to the center line and then fell back out. So we're getting rejected at that channel. This is on Coinbase, by the way. We were in the channel here from this inverse head and shoulders, fell out of it. And what I've done since was I've widened that channel and added it here. So I've widened the channel here. I placed it at these contact points here and the center line in the same spot. And doing so, put the top of the channel in contact with this low right here. So it makes sense, the 59K low. It makes sense this inverse head and shoulders is directing us from this channel into a channel going this way. But we are getting a rejection here. So very possibly we head back down into this red channel and move over a little bit and then continue upwards over here. Now, if I, you know what, let's see, if I clone this, let's just see what happens here. And I clone that, and then I pull it over here. And we follow down to this red channel. It gets us down to 66.5. Pretty close to all these things over here, and that is on Sunday, November 3rd. Which a little birdie, I can't say a little birdie because that would be Twitter X, and I didn't hear it from Twitter X. I heard it from the spiritual realm, and they said if we were going to dump, it would be November 3rd, and that's what the stars and planets say, and those kind of things, and the crystals and everything. So you got that making sense. That would fill our gap. It falls in line with my little green line that I drew. And it falls in line with these channels that I drew. And it falls in line with the data of what we do when we hit our all-time high. Now, what is different here is that we already hit our last cycle all-time high in March and went past it. Right? We hit our all-time high in March right here, around the 4th or 5th of March. And then we had a dump. How much of a dump was that? A 15% dump. Where have I seen that before? So, and then we pumped to a new all-time high and then saw another dump. Looks like about 15% again. So we already did that. Are we going to do it again? Or do we not have to because we already did it there? So things are slightly different here. This isn't the first time we hit our all-time high from last cycle. It's the second time. And where did we go beyond 69? It was not there. It's right about there, this purple line. Which I forget what that is, but I'm sure it's something important. Oh, it probably goes off a couple wicks on the channel somewhere. So, we did see a little bit of a pullback there, and then we just kept going. But now, since we're at our all-time high from 7 months ago, that is quite a bit of time ago. So are we going to see a pullback here? I'd imagine it would seem natural that we would. Wouldn't make sense that we just come up here and shoot right through, especially after consolidating for 7 months. People have been used to a $60,000 Bitcoin. Are they going to be willing to pay 70, 80 suddenly after just paying 60 for so long? I think they're going to be kind of hesitant. And not to mention, the market is extremely over leveraged. So it'd be very easy for the bears to do one last flingamajig. That's a 2-hour time frame. What does a 4-hour look like? See, we're overextended. Could easily see a pullback. Do they have any? Oh, there was a bullish divergence, but that led to our rally. So what about on a daily time frame? And this is Coinbase that we're looking at. Now, I do have a channel drawn here, and we are at the top of this channel on the RSI. So it would make sense that we would come back down. We're not quite at the top, but we weren't quite at the top when we turned around here. And we're just above the... Stop doing that, Jesus Christ. Kind of looks like... Yeah, we could go up a little more. It's on the daily. But, yeah, we could go up a little bit more. Maybe. Perhaps today. Where are we? We come back up just a little bit more to just almost touch our previous high again. I think it's about 73,740 or 750, 73,750, something like that. That would have to be a daily closure. Well, perhaps this continues down here. Anyway, let's switch to the index. See, because I have, oops, that's not the index. See, I have a lot more lines drawn here. Okay, this is going to be, there we go. So we're on the stochastic RSI now. Oh, we kind of went through that. Oh, because we started a new day. We finished the day right here on this line. Now, I'm not really quite sure what that line is. Maybe I drew it on a weekly. Oh, I did. I drew it on the weekly because it was hitting that and back here perfectly. Let's see if we clone it. If we can create a channel, pretty much creates that channel there. But you can see we busted above it. Now, what happens if we clone this? Well, that looks good, but we can't get that high from where we're at. But I bet I don't think we can get that high either. But maybe to the center line of that at some point. Huh. Anyway. That's what those look like on a daily. Well, look at how nicely it's And we did. Looks like we stopped there and stopped here on 2 different days. And what does that mean? I don't think it really means anything. I don't think it means a damn thing. Let's look at the RSI. We're on a daily time frame. Well, I don't got nothing here. I mean, other than we're at the top there, we're at the top there, we're at the top here, so we are kind of like oversold. And on a daily, we are crossing back down below the moving average, but of course we're in the bullish bullish zone way up here, or outside the bullish zone, or like in the extremely bullish zone. So that doesn't really hold a lot. Let's see what happened when we cross down here on the 20th of October. Huh, that was that big red candle right there. So, quite possibly, it could have some effect here. Oh, yeah. We came up above our last cycle's all-time high, and we dumped down, well, about 3.75%. And what would our move be down to? And let's see how much we did move, like yesterday. Well, this whole rally was, how much was it? I don't even know. It's from there up to here. I can't see. There's all these things in the way. About a 10% rally, I guess. And then how much did we move Monday and Tuesday? %3 on Monday and 7% overall. So that's not a whole heck of a lot. How much would we have to move to get back down to 66.7? About 8% from where we're. Oh no, that's from the top. Yeah, let's just say 8%. No, it's not. Let's see from where we're at now. I didn't measure from where we're at now. %7.77%. 7.77%. So there you go. I mean, with a number like that, it's got to be real, right? It's got to be a real thing. And as you can see here, we are butting up against that. Looks like a descending triangle to me, which on my chart on Coinbase, it reinforces the fact that we could be heading down in a channel going down this way. Just possibly. So that's the bear case scenario. The bull case scenario is that we come up here. Now, we could come up here today or tomorrow or something like that and retest. Yeah, if we came up here on Thursday, maybe didn't do much today or even pulled back a little bit, there's a possibility we could come up, and you got three things going on. You got this center line of this channel, this upward channel that we're moving upwards in. You got this green line, which represents the top of a a channel that we've been trading in that has less of a slope. And you have our previous all-time high. I mean, this cycle's our 7 months ago all-time high, and you have this pink line here too, which is also a channel that we've been trading in for a long time. They all intersect right there, and where do they intersect in space and time? I can get my little cursor. they all intersect at the end of the day tomorrow. Thursday, not today, Wednesday, Thursday. Close of market or towards the end of the day, sometime around there. So that could be the case too, and then we see a rejection there. The other thing that's going on is that the all the data that's coming out. Imagine the current party in power wants all that data to be good to get them reelected, to help in their election. I mean, these politicians, pull out all the stops and do everything they can, every little thing they can to stay in power. So if there's any way they can manipulate the data, influence the data, grease people's palms, they will. And or if they even have to do that, because if the people that are providing the data want them elected, want them to stay in power too, then they're going to skew the data to, favor their reelection. But is the data that people want to see to influence them to reelect the current party? What am I trying to say? What they would want to see in the data to get reelected it might be the opposite of what the market wants to see. You know what I'm saying? So like if maybe we get, looks like employment's good, jobs are good, and what have you, and the economy's good and everything, that's the opposite of what the market wants to see, because the market wants to see that, in the market's eyes, is saying, hey, we're going to see inflation spike up again, and they're going to cut interest rates again, and they're not going to turn on the money printers. So is the data that's going to be coming out the next week going to be good for the election, bad for the markets? Could possibly be. So anyway, that's my bad case scenario, and I'm sticking to it. And if it's wrong, then we just buy in after the election, or increase our leverage after the election at higher prices, and it'll be very safe. And but we would be missing out here. I still think, at some point we will get a pullback. Do we get it here? Or do we rally up a little bit more? Do we go up to 80,000 and then maybe even see a big pullback, even, past where we're at right now? So I'm just going to wait this out till, I'm going to wait it out till we get down to 66.7. Or what? At least back down to my aqua colored line. What's that at? 68. We'll see. Anyway, this video's, I've been rambling on long enough here. I'm surprised my phone even has enough storage to hold all the blah, 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 blah. Okay, so remember not to don't like me. No, you can like me if you want, but don't like this video, and don't subscribe. Well, you can subscribe because you want me to come up in your news feed. So, not your news feed, but your whatever, the feed. And so subscribe, but don't like, or like if you want to have a bunch of crazy people show up in your feed. And gosh, this isn't working. I want to say don't like, don't subscribe, and don't tell anyone. But you want to tell people about Bitcoin, not necessarily about me. So tell them about Bitcoin, but don't tell them you listen to that crazy triangle guy. Think you're flipping nuts. If you tell them that, then they won't even buy any Bitcoin. They'll go, "Fuck, you're flipping nuts, dude." All right, so that's that. See you next time.